Hello, I'm Robbie Farr and you're watching Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to Redmen TV. After Jurgen Klopp delivered his first ever press conference as Liverpool manager, I'm sure the vast majority of you watched it and were as delighted as I was. It was just brilliant, absolutely sensational. Prior to that, I sat down and watched the LFC TV interview as well. Took a few notes on some of the things that I thought were the standout moments of it. So bear with me while I go through my hastily prepared notes. What I thought was most impressive about the guy, and obviously throughout this I want to know your thoughts on the best part in the comments below. His laugh is the best thing ever. First and foremost, what I like about it, and we've discussed this in the office a few times over the last few days. And look, I really like Brendan Rodgers, and I still do, and I like him as a person, and I like him as a football manager, as a coach, yada yada yada. Whereas I felt there were times where he was very well prepared when he went into things and went into press conferences and stuff. And there were some great moments that were completely off the cuff and what have you. But you know, I always felt like he was quite calculated, which is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. What I like about Jurgen Klopp is I just think he shoots from the hip. I think he backs himself. I think he's got confidence in himself, and the stuff that he comes out with isn't scripted. It's just him talking from the heart, and the way he talks about how much he loves football. You don't ever think like he's just saying that. You genuinely feel like, and maybe he's a Hollywood potential Academy Award winning actor. Maybe he is, or maybe he just actually loves football and loves talking about it. And that was what was great is that, and I think the overriding thing and the overriding message that he seemed that he wanted to deliver to the fans was that we need to stop being so pessimistic about football, and he's right. And you know where I get a great example of this. I remember prior to Batman Begins coming out. Stick with me a moment on this one. I'm coming to a point, and I remember everyone was worried that it was going to be another Batman Forever or another Batman and Robin. It was going to be another nipples on the bat suit kind of farce. And then we all thought, okay, Sean, Christian Bale, this could be okay. And then there was the line that came out. It was in like Empire magazine, and it said on the lines of, Bruce Wayne is the mask that Batman wears to convince the world that he's not Batman. And it's like, yes, that is it. You get it, you understand it, you know exactly what's going on in my head and exactly what I want for the future from this series. And that was when I knew it was going to be good. And when he basically said, like, the problem with Liverpool they've got is that, we're weighed down by the expectations of the past. In fact, I've got the great line, history is great, but it's only to remember. And, it doesn't say forget history, because that would be the opposite of saying the word remember. He basically says it's fantastic what Liverpool have achieved. It's made them the club that they are today. But don't worry about that. Don't let that burden us going forward. And he basically, we need to go on and we need to build a new story. And we've got to change from doubters to believers, which is absolutely spot on. It goes on to say that the atmosphere, and he said, look, there's some good atmospheres at Anfield. But you can see and you can hear that the fans just don't believe. That they don't believe in what's happening. And he's like, I'm coming in, I want to change that. And I was like, yes, Jurgen, yes! I want you to change that too, because he's absolutely right. And the best example of that, I've been to a couple of away games this season, and that's where our most vociferous support genuinely is. And like Stoke, it was fine, but it died a death. And the derby, when Everton scored the equaliser rather, the atmosphere remained in the second half, but it had nowhere near the bite or the passion that it had in the first half, leading up to us scoring the first goal. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's what Liverpool fans are supposed to be about is, don't care if you score a goal, don't care if you score 2 goals, don't care if you score 3 goals. We're going to sing our heart out, we're going to literally roar at you until our team score more goals than you. And that's what happens going back to Istanbul, and what Liverpool have done for years. And what he wants is a return to that. Is like, stop being brought down by all the things of the past. It's gone now. It's done. I'm here. I'm going to work to improve it. And what was great about it is people talked about his style of football on the pitch. He said, I think, let me see if I've got the actual correct line on it. He says along the lines of, basically I love football, and everything that I love about football, I want to bring to Liverpool. You know what I mean? And again, he talks about he was asked about full throttle football, and he said, yeah, look, as far as style goes, I'm going to talk to the players first. I'm going to work out what we've got and what the kind of attitudes are. But ultimately, that's what I want to see. I want to see high energy. I want to see players going in for it. And what was interesting on the line as well, because he says, look, it's great talking about possession football, the best clubs in the world play it, your Barca's, your Bayern's, at times your Real Madrid's, etc., etc. If we're not there, then there's no point in trying to play this dominant brand of football because it's just aimless. You've got to go and play a brand of football that makes you work and get you ticking, and then you build towards that. And there's a great line, he said something on the lines of, if the team that you play with, they're better than you, you bring them to your level. You bring them almost down to your level, and you kill them there. You know what I mean? Grab them down to your level, and then you do them in the way that you want to do them. And ultimately, if you're better than the team, you beat them. It's simple stuff, and ultimately it's only words we need to see it enacted on the pitch. But you know what I mean? That is the kind of fighting talk that I think we're looking for. And rather than being, it's not too prosaic or anything. It's just borderline primal in and I think as Liverpool fans, I think it's something we can definitely relate to and get behind. What was interesting as well, what was good, I'll give credit where it's due to LFC TV and Claire Rourke in their interview for mentioning the transfer stuff. It looked a little bit uncomfortable, if I'm honest. I felt like something that they did, because it didn't seem natural coming out. And Claire is a good presenter, but it didn't feel natural, as though we've never been allowed to ask this kind of stuff before. Is this okay if I ask you this, Jurgen? And he was like, no, it sounds. Don't worry about it, these are very clever men, I'm not an idiot. We work together, I'll have the first word and the last word, and the middle will work out everything in between. Fantastic, and the fact that he's just basically like, yeah, it's not an issue, don't worry about it. Don't use worry about the money being spent. That's not your concern, it's my concern, it's my judgment on this, and what he said is, we won't be keeping any players that I can't work with. I've got to work with them on a weekly basis. If I can't work with them, what's the point? And equally, if there's guys that I want to be working with in that club, they won't be getting sold on me unless I want them sold, even if we get a really good offer in, which I think is the most encouraging thing as well, because look, Liverpool have sold the best players in the last 2 seasons. You can argue Raheem Sterling, but certainly Luis Suarez, and Raheem Sterling was essentially the linchpin to some of the good stuff we did last season. Very promising player, with a worse squad for not having him. He's been sold, and if he's got those kind of, he's not come here without certain promises, and the fact that he's not even prepared to go into them like they're not a big deal gives me loads more confidence that I can switch off to it. I don't have to worry about it. He's happy, I'm happy with that. Yeah, what again, it's as well, again, just going back to that, the overriding thing on it, people says as well, he thinks that the general atmosphere at Liverpool are in a mess at the moment, and he's saying, I'm looking at it and going, doesn't look as big a problem. I think the expression was, not as big a problem as people think. Which is good to know. I mean, what's crazy, well, people talked about him, about the titles and what Liverpool can achieve, and he's gone, well, and he's being compared to the managers of the past, and he's saying, look, no, none of these legendary Liverpool managers that we talk about come in the first press conference and go, I'm going to be a legend at this club. No, just let me get to work, let me do what I can do. And it's not about how people think of you when you come in, it's how people think of you when you leave. And I think that is, again, let's not put too much pressure on, but it's Shankly-esque. It's just the turn of phrase for a guy who's English is by his own admission not amazing yet. Some of the stuff he's coming out with for me is absolutely spot on in that regard. And what was good, he kind of said, and maybe I'm reading between the lines a little bit on this, but along the lines of 4 years time, he's like to think that if he sat there in 4 years time, he'd like to think that he'll have won a title in that time. Yeah, again, do it, mate. Do it. Be very out, or you'll have to move on to Switzerland or something and try and win one there. But either way, I like this. Good chat, great start, spectacular. I think the highlight, and it's what we'll go with on the thumbnail and what everyone's hashtagging to death at the moment. So why should we be any different? Was asked about Mourinho and coming in and calling the special one. He's like, just a normal guy. I come from the Black Forest and just I work hard. I've come up, and some people asking about his holidays and stuff, and he's saying like, for years I couldn't even afford a holiday, and now I've enjoyed my holiday because I then got to a point where I didn't have time to have a holiday. So he's feeling good, he's feeling relaxed, he's done his research, he's ready to go. But I love the fact that he come back and said, look, ultimately, if you want to come, I'm the normal one, which I can't feel is going to come back to be trolled to death by fans of other teams, like we come not to play. But it's not. It's better than that. Understand the context. It was amazing, and I just love how self-deprecating he is. He's like, look, I'm not a genius. I can't claim to know. There are people who know more about things than I know about, but I am who I am. I've got my way of working. I love football. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do my best for Liverpool Football Club. And that's all I think Liverpool fans can ask from that. Thank you very much for people who sent in their comments on Twitter. We've tried to feature as many of them in this video as possible. Do let us know your thoughts. What was your standout moment of the press conference? If you haven't watched it, do go and check it out. LFC TV, I think that's when I watched it, and the interview that Claire Rourke did as well, that I've mentioned, is brilliant as well. Despite the fact that he looks done in, because it's clearly been a long day, I like the way he handled himself in that. Absolutely spot on. Just imagine how good the guy's going to be in 6 months' time when he's brushed up on his English a little bit as well. Absolutely phenomenal. Couldn't be more impressed than I am right now. Fantastic. He's got, he's imposing. He's got that edge to him as well. That, he said, if you're loyal to me, I'm loyal to you. Love it. Said he wants to talk to the fans. Said he wants to communicate with the fans. Jurgen, we're open, mate. Open invitation right here, right now, to come and join me in the Redmen TV studio. If you want to see that happen, let me know in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up and start tweeting LFC like mad on Twitter. Get Jurgen Klopp on the Redmen TV. Go and tweet it now. Go and message it now. Go and spam the World Wide Web with that notion. We want Jurgen in here. We're going to deliver the best interview he's ever featured in the history of his footballing career. No pressure. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more Redmen TV content throughout the week. We've got our 1v1 show special, of course. If you want to talk about this more, what he could mean, what he could bring to Liverpool, what the future could hold, it's a subscriber exclusive. It's 40 minutes on the redmentv.com. It's completely free for a month, and it takes you to the end of the video. Go and check it out. Ta-da.
Fucking hell, mate, I'm getting really excited.
Clap!
Just looking
Clap.
into him, you can't help but get excited. He's just fucking nuts.